Have you ever felt the unnerving chill of a connection inexplicably fading? One moment you are the center of her universe, the recipient of eager messages and shared laughter. The next, you are met with a silence so profound it echoes in the empty spaces of your day. You feel an instinctual panic, a primal urge to close the growing distance, to send another text, to plan a grander gesture, to somehow force the warmth to return. Yet you sense a baffling paradox at play. The harder you push, the faster she retreats, and the more effort you expend, the less valuable your affection seems to become. This is the first bewildering truth of human connection, a dynamic that defies conventional logic and leaves most men confused and heartbroken, chasing a shadow that only flees from the light of their pursuit. What if this perplexing dance of advance and retreat is not random, but is instead governed by a hidden architecture of attraction, an unspoken set of rules wired into our deepest instincts? Imagine that attraction isn't just a feeling, but a delicate equilibrium of power, respect, and challenge. When a woman pulls away, it is rarely a conscious decision born of malice. Rather, it is often a subconscious response to a shift in this delicate balance. She is, without realizing it, testing the frame of the man she is with, instinctively gauging his strength, his self-possession, and his core value. The man who panics and gives chase fails this silent test, confirming that his emotional center of gravity lies within her hands, not within himself. Understanding this architecture is like being given a key to a locked room. It is the second crucial step, a shift from reacting to the surface-level problem to understanding the deep-seated dynamics that truly govern her heart and her respect. But what if the ultimate goal was never merely to win her back? What if this painful experience of withdrawal and rejection is not an obstacle, but an invitation, a catalyst for the most profound transformation of your life? This journey is not about learning a series of tricks to manipulate a specific outcome or to coax a reluctant partner to return. It is about embarking on a path of radical self-reclamation. It is about forging an inner citadel of emotional strength so unshakable that your sense of self-worth is no longer contingent on any one person's approval or presence. The real victory isn't found in her returning text message, but in the moment you realize you will be whole, powerful, and complete, whether she returns or not. This is the final and most powerful revelation. The process of making her desire you again is secondary to the process of becoming a man who commands respect, not just from her, but from the world, and most importantly, from himself. This is where the true work begins. Before you can devise a strategy or take a single action, it is imperative to delve into the fundamental reason she pulled back. This is not a random event or a sign of fleeting feelings. It is a direct consequence of a shift in the power dynamic between you. In the landscape of human relationships, attraction is intrinsically linked to respect, and respect is linked to perceived value and strength. When a woman feels she has complete control over a man's emotional state, the polarity that fuels attraction begins to die. It is not a conscious, calculated decision on her part, but a deeply ingrained, almost primal response. We are all at a fundamental level drawn to a challenge. We covet that which is not easily obtained. Think of any significant achievement in your life. Its value is measured by the effort and struggle required to attain it. Something handed to you freely without any investment is seldom cherished. In the context of a relationship, when you become too available, too eager to please, and too quick to forfeit your own needs and schedule for hers, you inadvertently devalue the very prize you are trying to be. Your constant availability, while seeming like a sign of devotion, actually communicates a lack of a strong, independent life. When she knows with absolute certainty that you will answer her call on the first ring, reply to her text within seconds, and rearrange your entire day for a last-minute whim, she begins to take your presence for granted. Your attention, once a valued commodity, becomes commonplace. She stops appreciating what you offer because there is no perceived risk of losing it. This is not a flaw in her character. It is a universal aspect of human nature. Scarcity creates value. When your time, your validation, and your emotional energy are endlessly abundant and freely given, they lose their perceived worth in her eyes. The chase, the mystery, the feeling that she has to earn your focus is what keeps the flame of desire alive. When you extinguish that chase by becoming a constant pursuer, you place yourself in a position of supplication, effectively handing her all the power in the dynamic. Furthermore, it is essential to understand the concept of subconscious testing. Women constantly and often unconsciously test the men they are with. These are not malicious games, but rather instinctual vetting mechanisms designed to gauge a man's emotional fortitude and self-respect. These tests can manifest as pulling back, becoming distant, acting cold, or taking longer to respond. It is her subconscious mind's way of asking, "Are you solid? Can you handle pressure? Is your emotional state dependent on me, or is it grounded in your own sense of self?" The man who reacts to these tests with panic by blowing up her phone, demanding answers, or becoming pleading and emotional signals that he is not the rock she is looking for. He is telling her through his actions that she dictates the emotional weather of the relationship. He is confirming that she is in charge. And paradoxically, this is the very thing that causes her attraction to wither. Imagine you have been dating for several months. The initial excitement has settled, and she begins to create small pockets of distance. Her replies become shorter, her enthusiasm wanes. Your immediate instinct, driven by anxiety, is to fix it. You craft a long, thoughtful message explaining your feelings, or perhaps you surprise her with an expensive gift, hoping to jolt the connection back to life. But in that moment of giving her that unearned validation, you lose even more ground. You are trying to solve an emotional and dynamic problem with logic and effort, which is like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The solution isn't to do more, but to understand the dynamic at play and begin the process of resetting it entirely by first reclaiming your own emotional sovereignty. Now that you comprehend the underlying dynamics that led to her withdrawal, you must introduce the most formidable tool in your arsenal: emotional detachment. This concept is frequently misunderstood as playing games or acting cold, but its true essence is far more profound. Emotional detachment is the practice of untethering your inner emotional state from external events and specifically from her actions and moods. It is about creating a space of inner calm and self-possession so that you no longer react impulsively to her behavior. When you achieve this state, you create the necessary emotional and psychological space for her to begin to miss you. The moment you genuinely stop caring about every little fluctuation in her interest, she will instinctively start to care more. This isn't manipulation. It's a fundamental recalibration of your own power and a way to command respect without uttering a single word. Most men fail spectacularly at this stage because their entire sense of self-worth in the context of the relationship has become entangled with her validation. The idea of showing less interest feels like a surefire way to lose her for good. But here lies the great paradox of attraction. The moment you cease your constant availability, the moment you stop seeking her approval for your own happiness, and the moment you stop caring about her every move, you become irresistibly attractive again. You reintroduce the element of challenge. Think back to a time when you desperately wanted something that felt just out of your grasp. A competitive job, a challenging business deal, or even the attention of someone you admired from afar. That feeling of intense desire was amplified by its elusiveness. The difficulty of obtaining it made it more valuable in your mind. This is the precise psychological effect you create when you emotionally pull back from her. You must learn to act as if you are completely unbothered by her emotional and physical distance. This means no anxious texts, no late-night calls, demanding to know what's wrong, no obsessive checking of her social media to decipher her mood or activities. You must in essence become a ghost in her digital and emotional world. Your silence will speak with more volume and impact than any carefully crafted paragraph ever could. In her world, which was recently filled with your constant attention, there is now a void. This absence is palpable. She will feel it. At first, she may not react, but the seed of curiosity has been planted. She will begin to think about you, to wonder about the sudden shift. Did she push too far? Did she make a mistake? Have you impossibly moved on? Are you seeing someone else? These questions born from your absence are the catalysts that begin to turn the tables of the power dynamic. In our hyper-connected modern world, true emotional detachment is a superpower. We are bombarded with social media, instant messaging, and a constant stream of information about what everyone is doing at all times. It is incredibly difficult to truly create a sense of absence. But this is precisely why it is so overwhelmingly effective. When you are not reacting to her Instagram stories, not engaging with her posts, and not initiating contact, she feels your absence in a way that is impossible to ignore. You are no longer part of the background noise of her life. You are the silence she cannot stop noticing. This silence creates a vacuum, and it is human nature to want to fill that void, to understand it, and to resolve the uncertainty it creates. As you embark on this path of emotional detachment and strategic absence, you will encounter numerous pitfalls where most men falter and ultimately fail. The primary mistake is panic. The silence you create is a crucible, and it will test your resolve. The urge to break it to just check in can become overwhelming. This panic leads to a series of common mistakes that instantly destroy any progress you have made and hand all the control right back to hers. These missteps may seem small and insignificant in the moment. A quick text, a casual comment on a social media post, a seemingly innocent question posed to a mutual friend. But each one of these actions is a massive signal to her that you are still orbiting her, that she remains the center of your emotional universe, and that your withdrawal was merely a tactic, not a genuine shift in your state of being. Most men cannot endure the profound discomfort of the silence. Their minds race with anxieties. What if she forgets about me? What if she thinks I'm angry? What if she meets someone else? These fears compel them to send that one seemingly harmless message. They rationalize it thinking, I'll just send one text to see how she is. It's the polite thing to do. But that single message is enough to detonate the entire strategy. Why? Because the moment you reach out, you have revealed your hand. You have shown her that you are still thinking about her, that her absence is affecting you, and that she still holds the power to elicit a response from you. Once she knows she is still in control, you have lost the upper hand, and the attraction she might have started to feel through your absence will evaporate. Let's consider a very common scenario in today's digital age. She posts a stunning picture of herself on Instagram, perhaps one that is subtly provocative. Your immediate visceral instinct might be to like the photo, to leave a complimentary comment, or even to send her a direct message telling her how incredible she looks. But you must understand that this is precisely the reaction she is likely anticipating and possibly even fishing for. By giving her that attention, you are validating her behavior without her needing to invest any effort in you. You are showing her that you are still hooked, that a simple photograph is enough to command your focus. The most damaging aspect of this is that you are providing her with the validation she craves on her own terms. She gets to feel desired and wanted, satisfying her ego, all without having to do the work of earning your genuine attention back through meaningful interaction. This is why you must ignore it all. No likes, no comments, no story views, no direct messages. Let her post into a void where your reaction used to be. Let her wonder why you haven't noticed. Let her miss the validation that you so freely gave before. This lack of reaction is in itself the most powerful reaction you can have. Another common mistake is involving third parties. In a moment of weakness, you might be tempted to ask a mutual friend about her to gauge her mood or to see if she has mentioned you. This is a disastrous move. It immediately signals desperation and a lack of directness. It shows that you are unwilling or unable to handle the situation yourself, and it outsources your anxiety. The news will almost certainly get back to her, and it will portray you as weak and unable to cope with the space between you. You must handle this situation with absolute discretion and strength. Your journey is yours alone, and your emotional state should not become a topic of gossip among friends. Every mistake stems from the same root cause, an inability to tolerate the short-term pain of silence and uncertainty for the long-term gain of respect and renewed attraction. You must commit to the process and trust that your inaction is your most powerful action. Now we arrive at one of the most potent and transformative strategies in this entire process, the no-contact rule. This is more than just avoiding a few texts. It is a period of complete and total silence. No texts, no calls, no social media interactions, no accidental run-ins. You must effectively disappear from her life for a designated period. This is the action that definitively flips the switch in her mind and shatters her sense of control. The no-contact rule is a form of psychological warfare, but not in a malicious sense. It is warfare against the established dynamic of her power and your supplication. Women, especially attractive women, are accustomed to men who cannot handle silence. They expect you to chase, to reach out, to keep the conversation alive, to seek resolution. When you do none of those things, it profoundly disrupts their entire framework for how interactions with you are supposed to work. Suddenly, she is no longer the one holding all the cards. You are. Her mind will begin to race with questions fueled by a powerful psychological principle, fear of loss. What happened? Did I push him away for good? Did he lose interest completely? Is he seeing someone new? This fear, this uncertainty, is what drives her to reconsider your value. For the next 30 days, you are to become a ghost. This time frame is crucial. A few days of silence can be dismissed as being busy or upset. A week can be a fluke. But 30 days is a statement. It is a long enough period for the pattern of your absence to solidify for her to truly feel the void you've left, and for her to go through the emotional cycle of confusion, curiosity, anxiety, and finally a desire to reconnect. And yes, this will be the most challenging part of the entire process. Most men buckle under the pressure. Their minds are plagued by impatience and fear. What if she moves on in these 30 days? They wonder. But here is the stark reality. The longer you maintain your stoic silence, the more intensely she will miss you. Your continued presence would only have pushed her away faster. Your absence is the only thing that can pull her back in. In our contemporary world, we are conditioned to expect constant connection. Everyone is perpetually online texting, sharing, and communicating. When you deliberately go dark, when she has no access to what you're doing, who you're with, or where you are, it creates a profound sense of mystery and a void that is impossible to ignore. This void is what forces her to confront what she has lost. She will start to remember the good times, to romanticize the connection you had. The small annoyances that may have led to the pullback will fade, and the positive aspects of your personality and your time together will be magnified in her memory. This is the power of absence. Her curiosity, initially a small spark, will grow into a burning fire. Eventually, that curiosity will transform into action. She will be the one to break the silence. She will reach out. The no-contact rule is not a passive waiting game. It is an active strategy of creating value through scarcity and power through silence. The most significant error men make during the no-contact period is to treat it as a passive waiting game. They sit by their phones, obsessively checking for a notification, counting the days, and putting their entire life on hold in anticipation of her return. This is a complete misapplication of the strategy and a recipe for personal agony and ultimate failure. The point of no contact is not just about its effect on her, it is more importantly about its transformative effect on you. While you are maintaining this period of silence, you must be ferociously dedicated to improving yourself in every conceivable way. This is your time. This is your opportunity to become the man she can't resist, and more importantly, the man you are proud to be. You must hit the gym with a newfound intensity, not just for the aesthetic benefits, but for the discipline, the release of endorphins, and the sense of power that comes from physical mastery. You must pour your energy into your career or your business, building your empire, and creating a life of purpose and success that is entirely your own. You should be learning new skills, reading books that expand your mind, and pursuing hobbies that genuinely excite you. You are not merely sitting around pining and waiting for her to come back. You are actively making her want to come back by becoming a man of higher value. When she eventually does reach out, you must not be the same man she pulled away from. You need to have undergone a palpable transformation. You should be stronger, more confident, more successful, and more centered. This entire process is not just about making her miss the man you were. It's about making her desperately want to be a part of the incredible life of the man you are becoming. Think about the stories of the most successful men in the world. So many of them point to a moment of major setback, a painful breakup, a business failure, a significant loss as the primary catalyst for their greatest period of growth. They harnessed that pain and used it as fuel. This is precisely your task. Heartbreak is an agonizing experience, there is no denying it. But it is also the most potent and powerful fuel for self-transformation you will ever be given. Most men waste this fuel by wallowing in self-pity, replaying past conversations, and stalking social media. This is your chance to turn that searing pain into a weapon for your own advancement. You must choose to see this moment not as a tragedy, but as a pivotal turning point. Heartbreak can either be the event that destroys you or the fire that forges you into a stronger version of yourself. The choice is entirely yours. Every time you feel that sharp sting of rejection, every time the urge to break the silence and text her becomes almost unbearable, you must channel that emotional energy. Instead of reaching for your phone, you reach for a dumbbell. Instead of rereading old messages, you read a chapter of a book on finance or philosophy. Instead of stalking her online profile, you work an extra hour on your passion project. You must learn the alchemy of turning pain into power. The best revenge is not in getting her back, but in becoming the man she will forever regret losing. And here is the hidden truth. Women are often drawn back to the men who have leveled up without them. It might take weeks, it might take months, or in some cases, even years, but they almost always circle back to see the man you've become. When they witness your transformation, your success, and your newfound confidence, their regret is inevitable. But by then, the goal has shifted. It's no longer about winning her back. It's about winning at life. When you channel your heartbreak into relentless personal growth, her opinion of you and her actions no longer have the power to affect your emotional state. You have won the ultimate prize, self-mastery. This entire journey is not merely about tactics to reclaim a specific person. It's about the fundamental process of building unshakable emotional strength. This is the quality that will ensure no woman or any other person can ever have undue control over your emotional well-being again. You must strive to become emotionally bulletproof, not cold or unfeeling, but grounded, unshakable, and secure in who you are as a man. The stronger you become emotionally, the less you will depend on external validation for your happiness. And paradoxically, the more magnetic you will become to women and everyone around you. Emotional strength is the bedrock of every successful relationship and every significant achievement in life. Without it, you are a leaf in the wind, constantly swayed by the opinions, moods, and actions of others. When you lack this inner fortitude, every small test or pullback from her feels like a catastrophic personal attack. It triggers your deepest insecurities and sends you into a reactive spiral. But when you are emotionally strong, you can observe these situations from a higher vantage point. You rise above the immediate emotional turbulence. You become the kind of man who does not allow anyone else to dictate his feelings or reactions. This is the absolute key to long-term sustainable attraction. Women are instinctively and powerfully drawn to men who are in control of their own emotional worlds. Men who do not get easily rattled and who remain grounded even when circumstances around them become unstable and chaotic. You must begin to practice emotional detachment not just with her, but in every area of your life. This does not mean you become apathetic or stop caring about outcomes. It means you stop having a volatile, reactive attachment to those outcomes. You do not let her mood swings, her periods of silence, or her tests dictate your own emotional state. You remain steady like a lighthouse in a storm. When you achieve this state, something truly magical begins to happen. You become the rock that she can depend on, the stable force in her life. You become the man who is unshakable in the face of challenges, and this quality is profoundly and irresistibly attractive. Consider the most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and figures in the world. They do not get thrown off course by every minor obstacle or setback. They maintain their composure under immense pressure, and that is a core reason for their success. The same principle applies directly to relationships. When she attempts to test you, when she pulls back or becomes emotional, you remain composed. You do not react with emotional volatility because you know, deep in your core, that your value does not come from her approval. It comes from within. So the next time she pulls back or begins to test you, do not react. Do not blow up her phone. Do not demand answers or try to fix things. Instead, remain calm, double down on your own life and your purpose, and let her see that her behavior does not control you. This is the fundamental separator between the men who win in relationships and life and the men who lose. Emotional strength is your shield, and once you have truly mastered it, no woman will ever have that kind of power over you again. Now, let's explore the practical mechanics of making her miss you. The secret is deceptively simple. You must stop giving her the two things she has come to expect from you, your attention and your validation. When you strategically pull back and create a vacuum where your energy used to be, she will inevitably start to miss you. You are no longer easily accessible, and in a world of constant connectivity, your absence will be the loudest and most compelling message you can possibly send. The old adage, "Absence makes the heart grow fonder," is a timeless truth for a reason. When you are always around, always available, and always initiating, she has no opportunity to feel your absence. There is no space for her to wonder about you or to reflect on your value in her life. But when you go silent, when you remove yourself completely from her daily inputs, she begins to feel that void. It is in that void that the seeds of longing are sown. In today's world, women, particularly attractive ones, are inundated with attention. It comes from all directions: social media, likes, comments from strangers, direct messages from other men, and a constant stream of low-effort validation. All of this, however, is just noise. When you go silent, you cut through that noise with startling clarity. You are no longer just another notification on her screen. Your silence creates a powerful signal that is distinct from the clamor of everyone else vying for her attention. Her thoughts will inevitably turn to you. Why isn't he texting me? Why didn't he like my latest pictures? What is going on with him? This silence creates a potent aura of mystery. And mystery is a powerful catalyst for attraction. Imagine this very common scenario. You are the guy who consistently reacts to all her social media activity. You like her photos within minutes of her posting them. You are the first to watch her Instagram stories. You leave thoughtful comments. You believe you are demonstrating high interest in showing you care, but in her eyes you are likely just another one of the many men in her orbit trying to get her attention. Now imagine you stop all of it. Cold turkey. You don't react to her latest selfie. You don't comment on her post about her weekend. You don't even view her story. She will notice. It is a fundamental aspect of human psychology. We notice the absence of a pattern far more than we notice the pattern itself. The more you withhold the attention she has become accustomed to, the more valuable that attention becomes in her mind. She will start to wonder why you are not giving her the validation she is used to receiving from you, and that is precisely where the magic begins to happen. Perhaps she posts a story of herself out with friends, laughing and having a good time. She is used to you checking in with a "looks like fun" message. But this time, there is only silence. You don't react. You don't watch her story. In her mind, the questions will start to churn. Did I lose him? Is he angry with me? Has he found someone else? That uncertainty is a powerful emotional driver. It eats away at her, and the longer she goes without hearing from you, the more that uncertainty will morph into a genuine feeling of missing you. If she escalates her efforts to get your attention by posting more provocative pictures or indirect messages on social media, you must remain steadfast. Do not engage. Let her feel that you are completely out of reach. Your unwavering lack of reaction will drive her to distraction, and she will be thinking about you more than ever before. In this age of relentless communication, your silence is golden. When she finally realizes that she cannot get your attention with the same low-effort methods as before, she will understand that the only way to reconnect is to be the one to chase after you. After a period of sustained silence and dedicated self-improvement, the moment will likely come when she reaches out. This is a critical juncture. How you handle this first point of contact will determine whether you successfully reset the dynamic or immediately fall back into the old patterns that caused her to pull away in the first place. When she finally sends that text or makes that call, you must remain calm, composed, and play it cool. Do not show your hand. Do not reveal that you have been waiting for this moment. This is your opportunity to demonstrate through your actions that you have genuinely changed and that you are not the same man who used to hang on her every word. The key principles are to keep your initial interactions short, confident, and to let her be the one to work for your attention. It is crucial to understand that when she reaches out, she is testing the waters. She might genuinely miss you, she might simply be curious, or she might just be feeling a momentary pang of loneliness and looking for a quick hit of validation. Regardless of her motive, the absolute worst thing you can do is respond immediately with a long, emotional, and overly enthusiastic message. She will see right through this and know instantly that she still has power over you. Instead, you must remain a calm and centered force. You need to subtly communicate that you are doing just fine without her, and that your time and attention are now valuable commodities that must be earned. Here is a practical step-by-step example. Let's say she sends a casual, low-investment message like, "Hey, how have you been?" Your first move is to do nothing. Do not respond right away. Let some time pass. Wait a few hours or even until the next day. This delay is not a game. It is a subconscious signal that you have a busy, fulfilling life and that you are not sitting by your phone waiting for her. When you do respond, keep it brief, positive, and indifferent. A perfect reply would be something like, "Hey, I've been great, thanks. Been swamped with some exciting projects. Hope you're doing well." Notice the components of this response. You're positive, been great. You communicate high value, swamped with exciting projects. You're polite, thanks, and hope you're doing well, but you give her absolutely no emotional leverage. You are not asking a question back immediately, which puts the onus on her to continue the conversation if she so chooses. This keeps her wondering if she still holds any significant place in your world. This calculated approach of delaying your response and keeping it brief signals to her that your life no longer revolves around her. Her mind will begin to fill with questions. Has he really moved on? What are these projects? Why isn't he as eager to talk to me as he used to be? This uncertainty is precisely the state of mind you want to cultivate. It keeps her intrigued, and more importantly, it makes her realize that she does not have the same level of control over you as she once did. It is essential, however, that you do not fall back into your old habits after this initial exchange. It can be incredibly tempting to want to rekindle things quickly, especially if she seems receptive and interested again. But you must remember that this entire process is about fundamentally resetting the power dynamic. You must let her come to you. Let her be the one to put in the effort to regain your attention. Respond when necessary, but always maintain the upper hand by remaining focused on your own life, your own goals, and your own purpose. Let's say the conversation progresses and she asks to meet up. She might say, "We should hang out sometime," or "I miss you, let's catch up." Instead of jumping at the opportunity and showing excessive eagerness, you must play it cool. A powerful response would be something along the lines of, "Yeah, maybe. My schedule is pretty packed this week, but I'll see if I can find some time and get back to you." This keeps the control firmly in your hands. You are showing her that she is no longer your top priority, and that if she wants to see you, she will have to fit into your schedule, not the other way around. Women are powerfully and naturally drawn to men who have a strong sense of purpose and direction. When she sees that you are not dropping everything at a moment's notice to meet her, it sends a clear and attractive signal you have a life, and she is no longer the center of it. This reversal in the dynamic will make her want you more, because now she has to earn your time and attention again. It demonstrates emotional strength and independence traits that are universally irresistible. Never let her know how much you may have missed her or how difficult the period of silence was. Keep your emotions in check and stay firmly on your path of self-improvement. When she comes back into your orbit, she must encounter a version of you that is even better than before, a version that does not need her validation to feel complete. Once she has re-entered your life and is actively showing interest, the final and most critical phase begins. You must reinstate new boundaries and solidify the new power dynamic. You cannot under any circumstances allow the relationship to revert to the same situation where she held the upper hand and took you for granted. This time, things must be different. You must make it unequivocally clear, primarily through your actions, that you are not the same man who will chase, and that if she wishes to remain in your life, she must respect your boundaries. The only way she can come back is on your terms, not hers. When she reinitiates contact and you begin to interact more, you cannot just welcome her back with open arms as if nothing happened. To do so would be to condone her past behavior and to invite it to happen again. You must consciously and deliberately reset the dynamics of the relationship and make it clear that you are now in control of your own emotional state and your own value. She will likely be expecting the old you, the one who was always available, always accommodating, and always at her beck and call. What she needs to find instead is a man who values himself, his time, and his purpose first and foremost. Here is the operational principle. When she comes back, she needs to earn her place in your life again. Do not immediately grant her the same level of access, time, and emotional investment that she had before. If she was your number one priority before she pulled away, she is not anymore. She must now prove through her consistency, her respect, and her actions that she values your time and is willing to adhere to your new boundaries. You must communicate these boundaries not through angry ultimatums, but through calm, assertive behavior. Let her know through your actions that things have changed. Let her feel that her past behavior of pulling away without communication will no longer be tolerated. You are not the man she left. You have evolved, and she must rise to your new level if she wants to be with you. When she tries to make plans, maintain control of your schedule. If she asks to meet, let her know you're busy, but that you will let her know when you have some free time. This establishes that your time is valuable and that she can no longer expect you to be available at the snap of her fingers. The key to making this new dynamic stick is consistency. Boundaries are meaningless if they are not consistently enforced. If she attempts to test you again by pulling back or playing games, you must stand firm. She needs to understand on a deep level that if she crosses a fundamental line of disrespect, you are fully prepared and willing to walk away without hesitation and without looking back. There are no more second chances for the same old behavior. This is about commanding respect, and if she is unable or unwilling to give you that, then she does not deserve your time or attention. She needs to see that you have transformed into a high-value man, one who does not tolerate disrespect or emotional games. By establishing these clear, firm boundaries, you not only command her respect, but you also ensure that the power dynamic remains balanced and healthy. If she wants to be a part of your life, she is going to have to work for it this time. And that is how you maintain the upper hand and create a lasting, passionate attraction built on a foundation of strength and mutual respect. Ultimately, this entire journey is not just about getting her back. It is about a fundamental transformation of the self. It is about forging yourself into the kind of man who does not need to chase anyone or anything. You become the prize. You become the one who is in control of his own destiny. By focusing relentlessly on your personal growth, setting unshakable boundaries, and mastering your own emotional strength, you have completely changed the game. She is going to come back, not because of a trick you played, but because you have become a challenge again, a man of substance, a man she cannot easily control or predict. But the real power, the true victory, is not in her return. It is in cultivating the inner strength to be able to walk away if she does not rise to meet your new standard. This journey was never about fixing a broken relationship. It was about fixing yourself. And when you truly do that, when you put in the arduous work and elevate every aspect of your life, you will find that you won't just have one woman wanting your attention. You will have options. And that in the end is what makes you truly unstoppable. You are no longer the man begging for her approval at the gates of her validation. You are the king of your own kingdom, the man who commands respect effortlessly. She will notice. Everyone will notice. And when she comes crawling back, it will no longer matter as much whether you take her back or not, because you will have already become the man who is in complete and total control of his own destiny. That is the only victory that truly matters. Now is the time for action. This is not a piece of content you just consume and forget. This is a wake-up call. If you are serious about taking control of your life and your relationships, the work starts now. Stop allowing old patterns to dictate your future. It is time to become the high-value, powerful man you were always meant to be.